Welcome back to Factorio Masterclass. My name is Nilaus and we are here on Volcanus. So in the previous episode we were looking at a little bit on Fulgora and we fell in love with this cursed design of using train wagons to move things quickly and efficiently between different builds. We are going to continue to explore that, and maybe you hate that idea with a vengeance and a passion, and maybe you are sort of trying to come around, or you will be coming around to it. I think you will. I think I can make you come around to it because I think it's pretty cool. So Space Casinos will solve a lot of quality requirements. We're still working on the premise that we want to sort of, in the mid game here, we want to get a lot of don't want any uncommon, a lot of rare quality or better, but mainly rare quality items, because we really want to just work with rare quality here in the mid game, and then we'll get some epics and we'll get some legendaries, and that's nice. So what we really want to focus on in this episode is how to get the tungsten plates and the tungsten carbide. Because there are two different ways. Tungsten carbide is interesting. Well, they're both interesting. But tungsten carbide, we look at what they're used for. So that's probably the best way of starting, is to say, what are they used for? Well, all of this is just normal quality. Don't need any of these in higher quality. We could argue that you'd want the fusion reactors in higher quantity, but we don't really have quantum processors built, so I don't know. Maybe, maybe not, maybe later on. None of this here. And maybe, kind of, ish, you want the artillery turret. So the fact of and also probably railgun turrets, maybe. But anyway, it's not super necessary to get this in huge quantities, but you really want some, because later on you will also need to get to this part. So we definitely want some of this, and therefore we actually have the option of, instead of making it sort of this direct form, then we can actually make it by making, the most efficient way is to make this part, believe it or not. So if we make this, because it consumes 102 tungsten per second, which means that you can go through a lot of plates very, very quickly, and it has 60% chance of upcycling, then we just delete it and then it comes back. So this is how that one is going to be done using this. This is something we've experimented with before, but the issue very often is not just this, but you also see we need 5.12 blue belts per second. And yeah, if we produce here, this is if I produce 9.6, that takes 256 gears divided by 9.6 and multiplied by the 5.12. That means we need 136 gears per second feeding into this one, which is a problem. So that's something we can fix. And that's going to be one of the main challenges of simply getting enough gears. The other thing, though, here, carbide, what is that used for? Well, that's used for mainly for the foundries and also for the big modules. And it's used in quite high quantity. Oh, and also for the speed modules. The thing is, this one can be produced with 50% productivity in an electromagnetic plant. So can these ones. So you'd kind of think that there might be some benefits to this. But what I find is that you need an incredible amount of steel, electronic circuits, refined concrete, and lubricant in order to keep this going. And if you take something like this, here, if we take something like this one and use that as a basis, it is using 25.6 of these and then recycling, but it also uses so much of the other items. So I'm not really keen on this, and I've been experimenting with it, and it just takes an awful lot of space. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to get this part here, and then basically say we're going to make tungsten carbide from rare quality and carbon rare quality. So that means we need to get some rare quality tungsten ore, and that's going to be our first challenge. So let's see if we can find some tungsten location and try to set that up. So we're going to start by making here we're going to be assuming that we have this one and there, and you're going to be using this. So let's get that here. So this is fine. This was producing 2 per second, which is not a lot. 2 per second, and it has 16% quality. Now I'm going to do something that is sort of generally considered forbidden, and also by me. If we do this, then we can see that now it drops down the quality to 6.5 per second, or 6.5% quality, but the quantity goes up to 9.6. So yeah, that's That means we're going to get a lot of resources, but only a small percentage is there. So there is actually an option here, and that is, interestingly enough, we take this speed module 2 and get that in here. Because speed module 2 is only minus 1.5 quality, and it gets us up to 48% speed, while this one gets us up to 80% speed, but at a much higher cost. So now we are looking at 10.3% quality and 6.5 per second outbound. I like those numbers. This is what we're going to do. And also, all these numbers about output, they're of course dependent on your mining productivity. I set it up to 400% plus, so it's multiplied by 5 times what you normally have. I think that's a reasonable place to be. So basically what I want to do here is, can I mine this, and then if I can just get rid of everything that is normal quality, that would be nice. So we are going to go... see, this should probably be placed first. Oops. There. And there. And this one. Like that. Good. So this is the first thing we want to do. I want that here. I want that here. Good. So what does this do? This fills up on here. I am going to pre-allocate so that I guarantee that there's always going to be able to set in at least one stack of each here into this box, and then the rest I don't want to stack it at all. Or so there, which just means that we are going to get things in here, and whatever else is going to be here. Okay, so now basically what we want to do is, okay, I just want to get anything that is rare quality or higher, take that out, because that's the whole point of this build. I want that to be coming out, so let's just put it out here. Yeah, happy. Now what are we going to do about the rest though? Well, we are going to deconstruct it. And here's the important thing. This one I want to have productivity modules on. Quality modules. But I want this to be not affected by the beacon, because then it decreases too much. So I want this 16% here. So what are we going to take? We're going to take not everything, because then I could risk taking the higher quality. So we're going to take only the uncommon or worse. Only the uncommon or worse is going in here. And then only the uncommon and... no. Then I just basically did everything going back. There we go. So now it's just processing, but obviously we can see that it's definitely not processing fast enough. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to simply take a setup here that's going to be deleting. There we go. This one will now be taking only the normal quality. Only normal quality, that one. And I guess this is going to be here. So now this one's just going in here, uncommon quality, and go in. We can even do it a little bit better by doing this one. And then saying you are also going to filter, but you're only going to take the stuff that is uncommon or higher quality and put back here. Because anything that's normal quality, just delete it. And there we go. This is basically a design that works really well. And you can then just put a few of these in. And it's still too much power. There we go. There we go. Not that it matters at all, but we might as well. And there we have it. This is simply just mining. It's mining at 6.5, and we're going to get a little bit of this out. So wouldn't it be nice if this could be some kind of tileable? Yeah, let's do this. And then we flip it that way. And I'm going to get you in here, and I'm going to get the same filter down here. So now we have another one. And flip again. Okay. Okay, I was about to do something stupid, because if you just cut, then you lose this filter, and I don't want to set that up. There, so then we have the filter. We're going to take you and move you a little bit out, and also move you here. So that is now a module, and of course I'm going to be placing this. This blueprint is invaluable for the way we work here. And There we go. So now I could be, if I wanted to, I could do something like this, and then that would be the belted output, and I could do the same thing down here. That one, and like this, and then take this out here instead. That one, and take these two out. Yes. Okay, yeah, so this is working, and there's a little bit coming out. So this is not gonna be great. This is not gonna be like a monstrous amount of items. However, it's gonna continue to run, and if we only have like 33% resource drain here, so it's nice. Yeah, so I think this is good. We can see that it is like pathetic amounts, but we can let it run for extended periods of time. I've run it for an hour, and basically what I get is that one of these modules will give us 0.5 rare or better quality ore per second. So that's pretty impressively low. However, this one is easily tileable, so you can simply just take a location such as this, and then we go, and no, we have to go and make sure that we put trains into this blueprint. There we go. And we can delete it, and we can place it down again, and then we can sort of go like, okay, what is it we actually want? I hope I didn't mess it up. We'll definitely be able to say we can do 4 of these on here. There. And then now that's 2 per second coming out. Well, that's it's not a lot, but it's also not awful. There. And there you go. And that will be, we can either pick that up in a box, or if we want to, or we can let it go somewhere else. But ultimately, the point is that now what we can do is we can just let this one run for ever and ever and ever, and then we can not care about it anymore. It is barely not covering everything, and I really wish I could do something about this so that they would, I don't have 2 beacons next to each other. But if I do that, then it won't be able to reach, because it has to be right flush against the wagon in order to hit this beacon here. But you know, it's something. And here I could also just take long-headed inserters if I wanted to, so that it would be, we gotta do that. There we go. Just get that in here. This is a mining location, so it's okay to breach that. Cool, so that is the design, and when we have this, then it's just a matter of very, very simple build in order to use, where do we have it? This one. Just put it into this location, and maybe even also have another one that's going to be that, and maybe have another one as well. That will go, and whether you want to use, oh right, here's a recommendation. Do this instead. And also for this one is definitely, because this will be the legendary one. There we go. So I would do this because what we're seeing now is the productivity here is plus 64% from these. Unfortunately, you can't build this carbide anywhere else. It's really annoying. But anyway, so this is 64%, but it requires 2 inputs to 1 output. So basically what we're saying is that whatever we are getting from up here, we have to multiply that by 82%. And that will be how much we actually get of the tungsten carbide. We're not going to use this at all for our normal tungsten, or for our for the tungsten plates, because that's just not valuable for us. This is one of the things where you build it, you set it up, and you forget about it, and then it'll just kind of fill up gradually, and that can be converted. Remember, what we need the carbide for is there. It's stuff like mining drills and foundries, which is all something we need like a decent amount of. But if we just, and the same with speed modules, but it's like not infinite amount. It's not for science. As long as it's not for science, it's not really a problem. So let's say we need 1,000 speed module 3, not a problem. Or 10,000, it's still not a problem. It's just gonna get there. So I'm happy about this, and the good news is about this, you can, the quantities that come out, because we now don't need to deal with all of the other qualities, the poor qualities, they just stay inside the build, and we only need this part, and therefore we can just export it, and then we can just go around looking on the map, see if we find something else, stamp down 4 or 6 modules, and then move on to the next. Cool. So that's the first part. Now let's get to the more complicated, but also I think a little more interesting build and that's for the tungsten plates here. We're gonna kill this. We don't need that. Right. So we're gonna be using a design philosophy that we did exactly before. And yes, like this. So this design philosophy is exactly what we did on Fulgora for the modules 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They basically just having things on the side of this and then shoveling things back and forth as we see fit. And that's going to be exactly what we want, because we are going to need I'm going to take you out. So I'm going to take that and basically make it here. There. And I'm going to get you on the other side, and they will now be able to share the lubricant. Then I don't need you. Then I also need to make sure that I have a uncommon build of this same thing, because we will get uncommon, but we will not get the rare quality or better, because if we decide to delete something, then, or if we recycle something and it turns out to be rare components, those are the rare tungsten plates that we're looking for. So we're not going to be building them to try to get legendary here. This is only about getting rare or better quality. And therefore we need also just a build over here. And this one will take, what will it take in? It will only take, or it will take all qualities of this, of the green undergrounds. That's all it does. That one, and then we flip it vertically here. So this will absolutely need to here, because this is how I'm going to be working on it. Then we're going to have to say, okay, what items could be in here? Well, we're definitely going to get like the tungsten here. Then we're going to get the ingredients, which would be that one. Then we're going to get all of the normal belts, the blue belts. But the thing is, if I put this out here, we're going to get stuck with not just blue belts, express blue belts here. They will be continuously used. But what about the uncommon green belt that goes in, gets recycled, and comes out as a rare quality blue belt? That could happen. That's going to get stuck in here. So I'm actually going to get something up here and get another output here. And that output is, yeah, this one is going to say, okay, you're going to get blue quality of blue belts, but not the normal and not the uncommon, because those are needed for crafting. But anything that's rare quality or higher for this, that will go up here, and then it'll have to go back. Okay, the thing though is that the stuff that comes back could be that quality here. So that means we also now are able to get the red belts in here. Okay. But then that means we also need to be able to say the red belts. They will never be uncommon or normal quality, but they will be able to be here. So we also need to take those out. And as that gets processed, that means we're actually going to get the yellow ones back again. Well, you know what that means. We need a spot in here for the yellow ones. And that's here. And then that also means the yellow ones need to be... You're seeing a pattern here? The yellow needs to be taken out. But then what about when the yellow underground gets... Well, you guessed it. It's going to go like this back again. Again, we're just only taking the stuff that is... Oops. Actually, we just take all of it. There. Then we obviously also need a space for this one. And then, well, you guessed it, we also need to bring that up here. And that's only when it's higher or better quality. Not that it really matters, because it'll never be... These ones should actually be all of them, but it won't ever be all of them. Actually, I think I'll be consistent about this, just so that it looks nicer. Yeah, this looks nicer, that it says all of them. There. And then, what is the things that could be processed out here that we don't have? Well, that's actually going to be gears. Gears in all qualities. And iron plates in all qualities. And now we have taken care of everything. And this will be an output. What you're going to do with this output? This means that you're going to be now as a result of this, also generating a decent amount of gears and plates in rare quality, in higher quality. I am not going to put upcyclers in here. Don't really care about it. And then what we also need is kind of the most important thing. That is the output here. And this output will be, of course, taking there, the tungsten higher quality than that. And that's the one we're actually looking for. Good. So let's get you here and here, I guess. There. Right. So far so good. We are going to take some processing here. That one. And this will just be made into... I'm just gonna, for this test purposes here, get that. So at least we have one of the ingredients. We're also going to sort of assume that we have something flowing inbound here of a better belt, or a belt full of tungsten that we are mining somewhere. You could argue that, well, shouldn't I then leave the normal tungsten to sort of go out? You can also do that if you want that, sort of get it out on other belts so that it is fully stacked. But that's, mining tungsten is easy. That's not something we need a masterclass for. Then, what about this one though? I am going to say you are going to go directly in here, because if I put it back into this box and over here, it can actually jam this box. So basically I want any stockpile, since this can work at 9.6 and this one can consume at 5.12 of the blue belts. Then I want to make sure that it doesn't do all that silly thing. I will get something out here. That's what are we getting? We're getting these two things that come from the recycler. So those will be here. Then I'm also going to go like put everything back in the box. We're going to go down here and back in the box as well. We don't need two inputs because this is not going to be fast. And that means this one is taken care of. This is not taken care of. So let me just set this up. Now this is set up and I have room for all the qualities of all the items. We could actually try to do some testing just to see how it works with what we have here, to see if there are any problems. And the way we can do that is by simply just getting something in here, and that will be, this will be titanium there, and also in that one. And we're going to use the stack inserters. So normal quality stack inserters are faster than normal. And then I'm going to take another one from this one just to invent that. And that's going to be here. So now we'll see how this is working. This is now consuming. Is it fast enough? Yes, it is keeping up. It's almost keeping up at least. And what is happening? These are going in here. Why are they? Oh, right. Why are they not working? That's because they need to be like this. There we go. So we can see now here, something might be coming up here once in a while. It's only rare quality or higher underground belts. And in the meantime, this one is just filling up slowly and hopefully. And these will also be, yeah, they'll be deleted as well. There you go. They're the rare uncommon quality. They're going to be deleted. And we start hopefully see this one also work. There we go. It works a little bit here, and we get some ingredients out here. So we get lots of these things. This is actually really nice because we can use that. We have a hub built here, so that's gonna be handy for like gears, for example, or not gears, but for inserters if you want to get that. And then it's just chugging along here, and everything is nice. And we are also starting to get some of this out. This is coming out incredibly quick, actually. So this is good. We're gonna take this out and then confirm that this is sort of philosophically working. What are we going to do then? Then this part we're going to need to do the whole process here, which means that you could do something like this. That would be that one and that one. But now we are going to get an awful lot or a lack of gears here. So how are we going to be putting the gears and then just shunting them forward? That's never going to work. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to take you and move you a little bit out and move you a little bit out. And then start there and there and there and there. And that goes a little bit further out, even further out. There. So what are these going to be? This one is going to be, since it is foundries, we can do this. And here I'm going to do gears. I love that we can make gears like this. And they also go down here, and they're going to be high productivity. We are definitely not wanting to get any kind of quality here. This is just all about the quantity. So we're going to get this, we're going to get this, and they're going to connect like so. And then out here for somewhere that we get the molten in. That's going to be super easy to get, so let's not worry about it. And let's also get some of this over. So this is good. But it gets better if we actually just put in some beacons. That one here and here. So now this is a really decent amount. This is 47, this is 47, this is 47. This is nice. Now we need to sort of figure out what we want in each of the boxes. And we're going to say all of these boxes are pretty much going to be the same thing. We want to make sure that we have some of this. We have some of this. None of this is in higher quality. Nope. So this is just really simple. That one. Actually, you don't even need this. And then I need some iron part here. Let's get 2 of those. And we need some gears. Let's get a lot of that. And then basically the rest is, as far as I can see now, going to be completely irrelevant, because that's just going to be dead space. So copy, paste, 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 and for the love of God, don't paste this one. It's even so much so that I'm going to do this one because I have a tendency to just cut things and then they disappear. So I'm going to copy this one down here just so I have that configuration, because I don't want to do that again. Good. So now, if this is the case, then we can start saying, let's actually do these 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. This is interesting. This is really interesting, actually, because you only need to go here. You actually, you need to go in this one. Fill that up. That's nice. This one can go in both places, and this one goes in here. Then we can also do this part and this part. Oh, this one needs to be red undergrounds. Okay, so this is good. Well, we're going to need to shovel things around between these locations anyway. I am actually not going to get this in here at all, because it just needs to go in here. There. I think 1 is probably enough. And then I need to get here, let's say 2 in and 1 out. 2 in and 1 out. And this will now work on everything. No quality, no productivity, just the way it is. Then we're going to build underneath here those 4 tiles here that can shuffle between the two locations. What are they going to take? Well, I don't think they need much. They actually only need to be transferring. The only thing that we actually need to transfer is this one. There. So that goes in here. And then for the next transfer location here, we're going to have... We're still going to have to get all of these underground, yellow undergrounds over to this one so they can be picked up. So that means still that one. The other ones are actually going to be transferring gears, because gears are just, we need a lot of gears over here. There we go. And that goes in here. There. And that also goes in here. And you know, I actually really like that these are sort of highlighting that this is all about the gears. There we go. All about the gears. All about the gears. And this one highlighted that it's just nicer. It's not necessary, but it's nicer this way. So now we get that in here. That means we need to get stuff in. That means I need to sort of get here. That's the gears. Then I want another one that is just going to be like this. And then we're just going to shunt things back out. Then let's do the same thing on this side. Here. And then that'll be the red one. In. And then push it out. No, actually do not push it out, because this only pushes in here. And then I am actually going to do this location. Simply just push that in here. No, it doesn't. It doesn't need to be pushed. There's nothing that needs to be pushed in here from that location. They are independent. We just need a lot of gears. And this one is just not getting enough gears. That's interesting. Why is it not getting enough gears? Oh, it is. It's item ingredient shortage. It really shouldn't be saying item ingredient shortage, but it does. But it is actually over here. It's on the output constraint, and this is important that I do not put this back into this and in here, because then that field would always be full. Now the only thing that can fill up these express underground belts is from the recycling of the green belts, and then that comes back. And lo and behold, things are working. And then it's just a matter of, can I do this a little bit nicer in terms of power poles? I think so. Here. I don't think that's good enough. So let's put them in here. Get these two out. Here, here, and that one as well. And of course this would be a belt coming in like this, somewhere where you have a decent amount of tungsten. There. There we go. And they will then go in here. And I like doing this one so that they are better, are spreading more evenly on what side they pick up. And then we have a lot of stuff here, and this one's also just going. So if I leave this running for an hour, then yeah, let's do that, because I can't remember exactly what it is. So let's leave it running for an hour and then come back when to see how much it's actually providing in here. So it has now stopped, and this is after 30 minutes of production. Yeah, I had to run 30 minutes because I did start the example, and then this one was not having beacons or modules in the beacon, and I couldn't figure out why it was not fast enough. So it freaked me out, but then I had to do a rerun. So now it's working, and it doesn't jam or anything. The reason why it stopped now is because the game is in pause mode, and this is what we can see. So if we if we go in here and go to this one, then we can see, if we look at this one, 5,300 and 0. Oh, that's odd. It's always odd when something is just fitting too nicely with numbers. Then that one, and then 130. So basically like this, and then let's divide by 30 minutes and divided by 60 seconds. There we go. So that's 3.5 rare or better quality per second we get from this. That is absolutely amazing from this build. Of course, it's also going to be using quite a bit of stuff. Like first of all, it's going to use a lot of lava, but who cares? The second one is that it's actually going to be using 102 less, because a quarter of it comes from recycling. So let's say about 75, 78 maybe tungsten per second. So that's not a trivial amount. But later on, when you got that, just build this, and even if you don't need to run it this fast, you also probably don't need it to run this fast. But you can also see like 3,000 plus 400 plus 30 of the other ingredients, which is really nice. And not even a single rare legendary quality iron plate. But you know, gears, they're nice, and if you don't own them, then you can just delete those as well. So I am super happy about this build. We're just gonna let it run, and then run it at normal speed, so it's a less annoying to look at. So here you have it. This is a how to upcycle tungsten plates, and up here we have how to upcycle the tungsten ore in order to get something better. There's something fun about this, isn't there? Yeah, okay, so not all of these are actually output. And there we go. Now this is emptying correctly. There was a little bit of another problem, is that if you have gaps like this, then the belts don't connect because there's lava in the way. So also keep that in mind when stamping this one down. Make sure you get the lava cleaned out. So this is how we get the tungsten ore in order to get tungsten carbide. So those are the two blueprints, and I hope that you will find them useful, that you maybe implement them in your own base. I am definitely going to be using these because they are such a cool and neat little way of getting some rare quality or better plates at tungsten. And that means this is actually all of the all the rare quality items we need from Volcanus, and then we can move on to other places. Then, yeah, maybe lithium is the next thing, or holmium, or whatever. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. As usual, blueprints are available to patrons. I will see you guys in the next episode. Until then, take care and stay effective.